So we're going to talk a little bit about goal setting tonight, because what I've discovered is setting a goal and writing a goal in this business particularly is super important. So we're just going to go through some stuff that most of us already know. I have made up a worksheet for you, so we're just going to go through this really quick and talk about what the goals are that Premier set up, because we can have goals that we've set up for ourselves, and we can use the Premier goals, which is great. They've already built in things for us to do. It would help if I had one. So I made it fill in the blanks so it's interactive, so you don't just have to sit there. So the Quick Start program is obviously the first one, and are any of you guys, neither of you guys are within your first 45 days with your training show. Okay, oh, you still are?
No, I'm past, sorry.
Okay. So the Quick Start program offers you a way to earn free jewelry. And so when you hold 6 shows within 45 days after your training show, Premier is going to reward you with $200 in free jewelry, which is awesome. If you do 9 shows within 45 days, Premier is going to give you another $100, so $300. So this is something that we should really be selling to prospective jewelers. So not only are you going to come in and potentially buy a sample kit, but we're going to get you more free jewelry, and we're going to assist you to get to that goal. You know, you're not going to just have to book those shows on your own. I'm going to tell you how to go find those bookings and book those. And it's especially great for girls that are really nervous about paying off that debt, because they can, if they do a Quick Start, they're going to have paid off that sample kit and that application and processing fee, and they're already going to be making money. So it's a good way to get them off their feet and going. And then Rookie Club is when you hold 12 shows and sponsor, anybody know how many jewelers?
2.
2 jewelers within your first 6 months of your training show. Premier is going to give you $300 in free jewelry. So we have at least a couple that are still within their first 6 months. So this is a completely attainable goal. When I joined Premier, I thought, I'm never going to sponsor anybody. There is no way I'm going to sponsor. I don't want that responsibility. I just don't want to do it. And how could I ever get somebody to sign up, you know? But once you sponsor that first jeweler, you're going to see how easy it is. And if you recognize the value that Premier has, you're going to want to share that with other people. If it's blessed your life, you're going to want to share that blessing with other people. The next thing that you can consider doing is the Home Show Club. Have you made it into the Home Show Club? Okay, so this is good. So the Home Show Club also gives you a way to earn free jewelry. So what you do is you have 25 shows within a 120-day period. Okay, that's any 120-day period, and Premier is going to track that for you. But if it's your goal, you should mark it on your calendar, your start date and your end date, and make sure that you have 30 shows scheduled, because shows are going to cancel and they're going to need to move. You want to make sure that you get that 25 shows in a 120-day period, so that's 4 months. And when you hold, so there's no actual benefit right away for being in the Home Show Club. There's no jewelry right away. But what that does is it inducts you into the Home Show Club. And then after that, your shows become cumulative. So once you reach 100 shows, Premier is going to give you $250 in free jewelry. Okay? And then it's cumulative after that. So when you read in the updates, you know, the Home Show Club, people have reached 1,000 home shows. I mean, that's amazing, but they had to be inducted into the Home Show Club first. So if you don't do 25 shows within 120 days, it's totally okay. You just won't be in the Home Show Club. And so you could have done 100 shows, but not be in the Home Show Club and not be getting those jewelry certificates. So you might as well make it a goal right off the bat, or whenever it works in your life, to get into that club so that you can start earning free jewelry down the line. And then they have other increments that they do rewards for. And then the Crown Jewel program is one that's really cool. Premier tracks it, and so it's not based on our accounting period. It's based on whatever time period you're doing things in. So when you submit 3,000 CV, so 6,000 retail, 3,000 CV within 30 days, Premier is going to give you $200 in jewelry. Okay, then that's the first one. That's Amethyst. And then the next one is Sapphire. And that's when you submit 6,000 CV in 60 days. They're going to give you $400 in retail. jewelry certificate. The next one's Ruby, and that's going to be $9,000 submitted in CV. Within 90 days, so 3 months, they're going to give you $600 in free jewelry. And then Emerald is 12,000 CV. You see a pattern in
1,200 days.
1,200 days. Thank you. I can't even read the typing.
Shouldn't it be 120 days?
Yes, that's a typo. You're going to get, what is it? Is it 9? This is wrong. This is saying 500, and I know that's not right. I think it's 8. I think it's $800 in free jewelry. So that's a lot of money right there in free jewelry. And those $600 will go a long way in new jewelry. And so Premier will track that. So you have to do them in order, and then so you do amethyst. You submit $3,000 CB within any 30-day period, and that's going to restart to 0. And then you do the 6,000 to get to the sapphire. And Premier will just send you the reward and their certificate in the mail. Okay. Any questions about those Premier goals? So on the back, the next step is leadership goals. Do you have leadership goals in Premier? So the Builder program gives you free jewelry. You're sensing a pattern. So when you sponsor 4 jewelers and hold 24 home shows, Premier is going to give you free jewelry.
24 shows in a year.
In a year. Yep. They're going to give you free jewelry. And they're going to give you, I didn't write it down. $300. I think it's $300. Okay? And then, as a bonus, you're going to earn 10% of the CV on everything your downline submits forever, as long as you're meeting your monthly goal of 300 CV submitted per month. And then designer is the next step in the leadership tier. And so when you sponsor 7 jewelers and hold 36 shows per year, Premier is going to give you $500 in free jewelry. And then you're still going to earn the 10% of the CV submitted by your downline. And you'll be eligible to earn free trips like Dream Disney. Okay? So they're really good goals. And find my notes. They're the ones that Premier has set out for us, which makes it so easy. It's like a no-brainer. But one of the things, like I said, that you have to do is figure out what your personal goals are. And they might not be in line with Premier's goals. So you've got to ask yourself, why did I join Premier? Was it for money? Was it to meet new people? Was it just to get out of the house? What was your reason for joining Premier? And what's your reason for staying in Premier? Do you have a goal down the road? Do you want to be not working outside the home? And then have you set goals and have you written them down? So I did a little bit of research, and I found 5 reasons why you want to, actually I think it's 7 reasons, 5 reasons why you should be writing your goals down. The first is because it's going to force you to clarify what you want. Okay, imagine setting out on a trip with no particular destination in mind. How do you pack? What roads do you take? How do you know when you've arrived? Instead, you start by picking a destination. And the same is true with the milestones in your life. Writing down your goals forces you to select something specific and decide what you want. It's key. It's funny, I never believed in writing down goals until I started with Premier and I started writing down my goals, and now I write down all my goals. The second reason to write down your goals is because it will motivate you to take action. Writing your goals down is only the beginning. Articulating your intention is important, but that's not enough. You must execute on your goals. You have to take action. And this writer has found that writing down goals and reviewing them regularly provokes them to take the next step in the important action. Number 3, because it will provide a filter for other opportunities. The more successful you become, the more you will be deluged with other opportunities. And other opportunities could quickly become a distraction to pull you off course from your goals. Okay. Number 4, because it will help you overcome resistance. Every meaningful intention, dream, or goal encounters resistance. From the moment you set a goal, you'll begin to feel it. But if you focus on the resistance, it will only get stronger, which is so true. So true. kick you. When I set a goal of being a designer, I set a goal of being a designer like as soon as I got my first jeweler, and I put it up on my whiteboard in my office. And I called Leah one day, and I was probably about 6 weeks from the deadline to make the red dress gala, which is what my goal was. And I was like, I'm never gonna do it. I need 3 more jewelers. It's not gonna happen. And then, boom! Like the next 2-week period, I signed 3 more jewelers, and it just. I had a goal, and I pursued it, and I knew what my goal was, and I just did everything that I could to get to that goal, and I didn't let things get in the way. And number 5, because it will enable you to see and celebrate your progress. Life is hard. It's particularly difficult when you aren't seeing progress. You feel like you are working yourself to death, going nowhere, but written goals are like mile markers on a highway. They enable you to see how far you've come and how far you need to go. And they also provide an opportunity for celebration when you entertain them. And the great thing about this group is that we can celebrate our goals together. So it's important, Leah and I talked a lot about, it's important for us to know what your goals are so that we can support you in your goals. If your goal is to do 1 show a month, that's awesome. I want to support you in your goal. I don't want to push you to do goals that you don't want to do. You know, this is the great thing about Premier is you can work it how you want to work it. And then, do you guys know who Zig Ziglar is? Mm-hmm. Okay, so really profound guy. He has a goal-setting formula. So he says to 1, and there's 7 things here. 1, write down your goals, which we're talking about. 2, set a date to reach the goal, which is so important. 3, identify the obstacles that you will need to overcome. And maybe for us in Premier, that's our other job, or that's a significant other, or it's a child, or it could be a lot of different things. We're all going to have obstacles, and they're going to be different for each of us. So you have to identify what those obstacles are. And number 4, identify the people or groups you will need to work with. 5, determine what you need to know. So if your goal is to become a builder, what do I need to know to share the business with people? How do I educate myself as to how to share the business with people? 6.
What was 4?
4 is identify the people or groups you will need to work with. So in Premier's case, that would be, who am I going to seek out to be a hostess, or who's a prospect? How am I going to find those people and identify who those people are? Where was I? 6, create a plan of action. And then 7, determine what's in it for me.
Can you elaborate on the create a plan of action? That's where I
Yeah,
get
so create a
stuck.
plan of action. That's a great question. How am I going to get there? Well, if my goal is designer, obviously a step along the way is builder. So what am I going to do? Maybe I'm going to do an event every month, like we did cupcakes and something. Diamonds and cupcakes, I don't know. But I'm going to do an event every month where I invite all of the girls that I think would be great jewelry ladies, or all of my hostesses, to come to, so I can share the business opportunity with them. Or I'm going to, a plan of action, one point of it might be, I'm going to ask all my hostesses to do the call in to win, so that they can hear the business, because those hostesses have already said yes to my business, and they're the people that can help me pass it along to somebody else, because they know who their friends are that are in need of something. And it might not be money, it might be companionship, or it might be something that makes them happy. It might be a lot of things that they need, but those are the people that know. A plan of action might be, I need to bring in $1,500 to the household income to make this work. How am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to have X number of shows, and if I sponsor people, that's going to be figured into there too. So you've got to figure out, you have to know what your goal is to create the plan of action. It's going to be personalized, but they're the steps that you're going to take, and they're constantly evolving too. It's the steps that you're going to take to get to your goals.